Hey YouTube, if you're relying 100% on closed APIs for your production AI workloads, your long-term margin strategy might be broken. NVIDIA and major cloud providers like AWS just signaled a massive shift towards open weight models, and if you're building in the cloud, this completely changes your infrastructure math. So Jensen Huang just dropped his first post on X, and it highlights his open letter coalition to the open weights. So the core message is essentially open weight model architectures are critical for developer innovation, transparent security, and maintaining tech leadership. And so if we go to the open weights and American AI leadership, white letter here, white paper, you can notice how major cloud providers, including Amazon, signed on to this. So even while the investing heavily in frontier closed models like Claude, AWS is aggressively expanding open weight availability on Bedrock because enterprise customers demand that deployment flexibility. And so, unlike these proprietary APIs where the weights sit behind a black box, open weights are published transparently in standard formats like safe tensors. And so I'm moving over to, let's say, this Qwen 2.5 model. And if we click on files and we move down here to the files, you can inspect. I'm not logged into my Hugging Face right now, but you can inspect and download, and you can host the actual model parameters in your own cloud environment. And so this is one model, Qwen 2.5. We have Llama 3.2. And so if we scroll down here on Llama 3.2, let's go to files, and we can see that it says it's a gated model. Okay, so what does that mean? So it doesn't mean that it's a closed model. It just means that Meta requires you to accept the open license terms on Hugging Face before you download or service the weights in your own environment. Which then brings me over to our next point, brings us to the next point, which is managed execution. So on AWS, this is the AWS console for Bedrock. You get the best of both worlds. You get all the models there that are available. It's over 100. I believe it's over 100 plus models at this point. And you also, there's also open weight models which are available. And what's awesome about this is that they're wrapped inside your fully managed private VPC infrastructure with enterprise governance. And so we also now have the Bedrock Mantle. And so essentially with the Bedrock Mantle, it's an endpoint. And so you don't need custom Bedrock SDK wrappers. You just swap in your base URL and your API key to run those models using your standard OpenAI or Anthropic models directly there. And finally, I'm hopping over to local execution. So here on my laptop, I am running Ollama and I am running Aider locally on my laptop. And what does that mean? It's running on my PowerShell. And so, yeah, so you can think of Aider. Aider is your open source terminal-based AI programmer. So essentially, it acts as your agent harness, and it operates directly inside of your repo to propose and commit code. And then Ollama, which this is Ollama. You can go here, or you can go to their GitHub as well. Ollama acts as the local model engine hosting, so the LLM brain. And so you can do, code edits, and you can do all your, fun LLM work locally with no API calls, no third-party data retention, and zero per ticket costs. And again, I asked, what can you, let's see, what can you do? And it gave us a list there. I just recently installed Ollama on my laptop, and I haven't really played around with it too much, but that's the gist of that there. And so we can close down. So as Jensen Huang put it, it's not proprietary versus open. It's proprietary and open. So close models or close frontier models, they can handle the heaviest reasoning tasks, while open weight models can power private, custom, and cost efficient production systems. Also, something to consider, it's, if you go on X, you can see all these posts about how all these open weight models are, the battle between open weights and frontier models, which I think is one of the things that inspired me, sparked my interest to create this post as well, or this create this video. And so, I think the big takeaway there is, do you have the hardware that's going to be supporting these open weight models? Some of these open weight models that are, as mentioned on X, it's like they're crushing the frontier models. Do you have that hardware to support those open weight models? So essentially, at the end of the day, how are you balancing your architecture? Let me know in the comments below what everyone is doing, how you're doing, your deployments for your AI models. And would love to get the chat started. Thanks a lot for watching, and have a great one.